Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I've got a ladder game. It is between Pyre, the red Terran player in the top position, and his opponent this game is Schnieder, the blue Zerg in the right. The map Antigua Shipyard, best of one obviously being a ladder game. And these two players, I think I've cast Pyre once before. I can't remember what game it was off the top of my head. I don't have a memory for the 700 odd games I've cast in the last year. But nonetheless, he is pretty good. It's a Grandmaster player. Schnieder, I don't think I've ever cast any of his games, so I'm interested to see what these two are going to do, whether they stick to the standard meta game, whether they do something crazy, whether it's going to be a fun game, long game, short game. All of it's open to the options. I've got to be honest, I try my absolute hardest never to look at the game time before I start cast a game if I'm just doing something random, just because then it adds to the surprise that I don't really know what's going on, and it makes it more fun for me as well, because then I get to accurately try and predict what's happening rather than having a educated guess as to what may be about to go down. And while it would be fun to always know what's happening so I look like a complete genius, it's more fun and I think more exciting if I don't, so that's why I do it. But anyway, while we're waiting for these two to eventually display what they're planning, let me say, if you like any of my casts, make sure you subscribe, because I get a new one up every day of the week. Like, seriously, every day, and I have done for the last year, usually like 2 videos released a day, so yeah, subscribe, that'd be awesome. Like the video as well, because that would just be sweet as, I mean, that's great. And comment, because commenting means I get to talk to you, and I won't be forever alone. Or something like that, I'm not really. But I do like talking to you guys, because I get to know what you like about the cast and what you don't and what you want me to do. But anyway, Pyre, he is going for Command Center first, but as part of the wall-off. The most notable player I've seen do this consistently is a UK player called Lau, and he always does this every game against Zerg. It's quite cool, and I like it a lot. I like it a lot indeed. And well, Schnieder, he's getting up his spawning pool, his hatchery already on the way, so hatch pool, command center barracks, it's fairly normal. Gas coming down as well, and this is fairly normal. Second gas is likely to follow up, but again, being a command center first, you don't need that second gas quite as quickly. If you went, for example, barracks, command center, it would then be gas, and again, that's purely just because the gas is slightly later, so you need to have the slightly, well, you need more just to make sure that you're able to get enough gas to get out your Hellions and usually Banshee after. So this is all fairly normal play from both these guys for the moment. I'm going to do some more Heart of the Swarm games soon. I'm probably going to cast those tomorrow, actually, a whole bunch of those to get them up. Remember, I need you all to let me know whether you want me to cast more Heart of the Swarm, less Heart of the Swarm, or really what your thoughts are, because I do want to cater to obviously what my viewers want, and I've been playing loads of Heart of the Swarm, as you know, playing as random. I threw all my placement matches and I've grinded up from Bronze League all the way up to make sure that I know all of the strategies going on in each league and get a good play with all 3 of the races, and then new units and new strategies. And my current favourite unit in the game, as a little bit of fun, is definitely got to be the Viper. It is just such an awesome unit. It's got so much interesting things to do, but I'll talk about that more in a Heart of the Swarm game. Anyway, we've got double gas coming down from Schnieder. Pyre, he is currently floating down his orbital command. He's got 2 more barracks following this on. No add-ons yet, so he hasn't actually used this gas that he's accumulating so far. And I quite like that, for the sense that he is going to be able to go up this tech lab. He's also got the reactor coming, so not that many units on the field for the time being, but all in all, he's going to be able to pump out quite a lot of units in the near future, and he's going to be able to get some key tech. I'll be interested to see what comes out of that tech lab, because that is quite a big tell. The factory on its way, the reactor there as well. I think I called that a barracks earlier, so I apologise for that. Spine Crawler coming on for Schnieder. That really says I'm going to be defensive. The Spine Crawler in this matchup says I'm going to really be passive. I'm going to drone as heavily as I can, and that is a good thing for Pyre to see, assuming he can get over and get a scout out on it. It also means that Schnieder's going to have a better time defending against Hellions, because let's face it, Antigua Shipyard isn't the nicest map to try and hold against Hellions, because it's a really wide area to cover in your natural. The Spine Crawler moving forward to try and get some hits off, but again, Hellions going to easily slip past, and you can't wall off or anything like that, so I think that's a good choice straight away. Hellions are in production as well, so that's pretty predictable. Marines coming round, just making sure there's not too much. Still only the one gas though for Pyre, so I find that very interesting indeed. So many Terran players would get the second gas out way before this. Meanwhile, Lair coming out for the Zerg player, who's getting up his third and fourth gas, which, along with his Baning Nests, is going to mean that he's got a lot of gas potential. With the Lair as well, you've always got to think, is it going to be Baning Speed? It could be Mutalisk, it could be quickly into Infestors. There was loads of different options available, and I mean, to be honest, I'd say Mutas are a possibility due to the fact there is some dead space around here you can utilise. You can come in and attack. The third base can also be shut down quite nicely, and you are in close by air positions and ground positions, well, you're just close, to be honest. So that opens up some interesting things. The Tech Lab also, it's worth noting, got Concussive Shell. So we've got a handful of Marauders, Marines, and Hellions on their way across. So this is in itself a very tough push to hold. It's sort of a bit of a variation on Marauder Hellion. Really, it's a build that works incredibly strongly indeed. It's not got Blue Flame, it's instead got quite a few more Marines in there though, and straight away we've got Pyre starting to move up. Now, if I'd seen that force on my creep, I would have been panic building a lot of stuff now. I would have actually chucked down a few more Spine Crawlers, because let's face it, this is quite a scary push. As we can see, that Spine Crawler gets instantly vaporized. The Queens are taking a lot of damage. Those Banelings are taking huge amounts of fire and will not successfully complete, and that is a big loss. And Pyre could frankly just come and win this game right here, right now. I don't see any way that Schnieder's going to be able to hold this. All of the Hellions have managed to stay alive. The Queens are going down. Great damage on the drone line, and as we can see, this is a super effective strategy being utilized by Pyre right now, who is just destroying everything. Literally so much damage being done, and Schnieder leaves the game, and really, that was a very short game, and it was not really an all-in either. That definitely wasn't. It was just a very nice timing push, because there was the third base coming out behind it. How could it have been defended is the obvious question. Schnieder needed to scout it, and the way you prevent that push from killing you is you have a Zergling kept outside your opponent's natural at all times, ready to spot that. The second you see it, you chuck down 2 additional Spine Crawlers, so you go up to 3, and you flood units. Then you would have had the units defend it very comfortably. Anyway, hope you did enjoy. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe. I'll catch you tomorrow for yet another new cast. Bye for now.